What's up, everyone? This is Tuba Solo here. I wanted to do a quick preview of the OUTAD Windproof Foldable Camping Stove for outdoor backpacking / hiking. For those of you that know me, you know that I really like the D-Power stove. It's a great little stove. There are certainly enough reviews online and videos online that could show you what this guy can do. But for those of you that know me, you know that I like the D-Power stove. I like the remote canister stoves. And the company who makes the D-Power stove has come out with a new version of a remote canister stove, which they've entitled, as I've stated previously, the Windproof Foldable Camping Stove for outdoor backpacking / hiking. According to the claims on Amazon, this thing can boil 1 liter of water in 2.5 minutes. It has a sturdy stainless steel design, and it's windproofed, 365-degree wind deflector that can withstand 38 to 45 mile per hour winds. What on earth is anyone going to be using this stove out in 38 to 45 mile per hour winds? I don't know, but apparently if you do find yourself in that scenario, this stove can handle that. It's got a 13.8-inch gas line with 7/16 lindal valve tank connection, which basically means that it screws onto your standard canister stove, the isobutane canister stoves. The weight on this thing is 9.7 ounces, and we are going to go ahead and check that too. I got my little kitchen scale here, and we're going to see if that's if it actually measures up to that amount. And it also comes with this nifty orange plastic storage box, and I think those are all the specifications. So essentially, this is the latest version by the company that makes a D-Power stove, and I wanted to just kind of show this thing to you guys. I've already fired this guy once, so I will say this, that it does work great, and I just want to give you guys some I want to give you guys a better look at this thing, and just kind of see if this is possibly the right stove for you. Just real quick with the box that it comes with, nothing too terribly fancy. It's just a plastic box. It seems to be relatively well made, and it should hold up just fine. But, don't expect too much out of this guy overall. Okay, so I'll put that to the side and pull out the stove. Here is the second half of the box for those of you that happen to care. It looks like there's also a little drain hole down at the bottom just in case this thing becomes submerged in water or what have you, I'm assuming. But it's got a little drain hole there at the bottom. Alrighty, so this is the stove here. Right off the bat, one of the things that I really like about this stove is that with the D-Power stove, the little arms and the legs on the D-Power stove, they were really annoying because they would just kind of flop around when you first got it. The first thing you had to do whenever you bought a D-Power stove is that you had to go and kind of beat the rivets down and try to keep the the stand arms and the legs from flopping around everywhere. That was really annoying. But what's really nice about this guy, and I guess they kind of figured out in the latest rendition that was really annoying to customers. Check out how these feet open up. I mean, they open up with a click. Check this out. See that? That is certainly pretty cool, and it's definitely not easy to get these things out there. So they've really kind of pounded the rivets in pretty well into this product. Click number 2, and then we'll click the third leg in and engage that guy. There you go. And then it has the feet that pop out of the bottom there. Okay. So that's one of the first things that they fixed, and man, I have to admit, I really, really like that. Yeah, there's really no worry with this guy. With the D-Power, it's a great stove. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to badmouth the D-Power, but this setup is definitely more sturdy. I mean, it may not necessarily be the thing that you're looking for backpacking, because all of this sturdiness adds some girth and weight to this, but it's definitely a high quality product, and it looks like they kind of just did a really good job overall on this guy. So we got a better look at the center there, and there's that dish that I was saying, the windproof portion of the stove right there. And the one thing that you want to make sure that you note that this is not the cure-all for, it's not that you won't necessarily need a windscreen or need to put this behind a rock if you take this with you or something like that. The issue is as you can see, obviously the cup doesn't go all the way up to the top where the pot would rest. So if you do have a wind blowing, it will still affect the flame. The only unique difference is that the flame will not blow out. Okay, so that is that thing, but still very efficient design, very well made. The tube is, the braided cable on the tube is really nice. Nothing to be of any concern to anyone. All the parts seem really well machined. There are no sharp edges on anything. I haven't cut my hand on anything. Even the teeth on here seem to be, relatively smooth. Yeah, nothing, no sharp corners on anything. This is really well made. Now the control valve is similar to the D-Power stove. You can run the canister inverted, which is really nice. So this thing flips around, and if you are in really, really cold weather, being able to invert the canister is actually quite nice. The control valve for the amount of fuel that goes in feels smooth in operation. Very simple design, off on, works like a charm. I mean, it's great. It's pretty much what you see on the D-Power stove, but it's got gold anodization on it. So that is pretty much it with that guy. One of the other things that I wanted to do, like I said, is I wanted to see the weight of this guy. So let me kind of just get set up for that. I got my scale right over here and a flat surface to use it on. Okay, and hopefully this thing is set up so that you guys can actually see the weight of this thing. So let's do real quick the case by itself. Apparently is 2 ounces. Okay, and now the claimed weight of the stove, according to the Amazon description, is 9.7 ounces. Now, mind you, we'll see if that actually does pan out. I will say this, that when I first got the stove, sorry, I'm just kind of putting it all back together so I can fit it on the scale without an issue. When I first, I want to say that when I first got the stove, I really didn't have any worry about the weight. Like, it was interesting. I kind of knew that it was going to be heavier, but I picked it up and was just kind of really ultimately surprised that it did not weigh as much as I thought it was going to weigh. So even though it might be 9.7 ounces, it certainly doesn't feel very heavy. Okay, so as you can see, pretty close to the stated weight. Mine happens to be 9.9 ounces instead of 9.7. Once you put all this stuff back together, just put that cable in there real quick. Once you get all the stuff together, we'll put it on the scale, and you're looking at, looks like 11.9. And why all of a sudden there's a, I guess maybe from this guy, there we go, sorry. Okay, sorry, there was a little bit of a glare on the screen. All of a sudden I was wondering where that was coming from. But it looks like it's 11.9 ounces for the entire setup. Again, definitely heavy by ultralight standards, but certainly not too heavy to carry around. I mean, for the quality that you get, I mean, it's going to be hard to leave this guy at home, especially if you're going to be cooking actual food. If you're just going to be boiling water, my goodness, there's a million better options out there than this guy. But if you're going to do some actual cooking, this might just be the stove that you're looking for. Okay, one of the other things I want to do is take this guy outside and show you guys the flame pattern of the stove. So I will shut off the camera and we will go to my garage and we'll check out the flame pattern. Okay, so I'm out here in my garage, and this is the stove, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shut off the lights and then I'm going to fire this guy, and you'll be able to see the flame pattern that this stove produces. So give me just 1 second here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. And now one thing that I also noticed about this stove is that the center starts to burn pretty red hot, which is kind of interesting. But I'll go ahead and turn this guy up. And there you go. That's the flame pattern of the stove. It's pretty well centralized, but once you lay a pot down, it'll kind of flatten out and do just fine. Okay, and then also another thing I want to show you guys is how to run this thing in inverted mode. So if you want to run the canister in inverted mode, what you want to do is you want to bring down the flame as low as possible. Okay, without letting it go out. And then when you flip the can over, there you go, see? And then get your hand on the adjustment knob and bring this guy down, and not too much, but there you go. So right now the canister is in inverted mode, and as you can see that we are able to actually get a simmer even in inverted mode. So let me flip on the light so you guys can see that I'm actually running the can in inverted mode. There you go. Can is inverted, and right now we're simmering. I don't know how well you could see that. I think you could see the flame in there very little, but yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the camp stove right there. And what we'll do is I certainly think that this guy has a lot of potential, you know. Let's see, you guys can see the see how it's glowing red hot in there in the middle? That's what I was kind of talking about. I mean, it's just incredible how red hot that thing glows. But you could certainly do a simmer, and as you saw, this is in full wide open operation. Bring this guy back down, and then now mind you, the flame is off, and look at how that thing's still burning red hot. So that's one thing that you're going to definitely want to remember as you use this stove, to make sure that you let it cool down. That is for certain. Alright, so that is the stove. Hope you guys enjoyed this preview, and yeah, I look forward to using this guy. And yeah, check it out. Check it out. The OUTAD Windproof stove. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description. Alrighty, talk to you guys later.